We're all here. So welcome, welcome. I was just telling everybody that's our first live chat of the year. We usually do like one live chat a month or perhaps two to get our users up to speed on what's going on. And a lot of people we chat of with people who make a difference on the community out live. It's just an opportunity for everybody on our group, like people who follow ErgZone and use ErgZone to understand more about who else is out there doing it. And a lot of times we like to share the business that are using your zone in hope to bring more business to them. So I want to tell you, so Patti and Nell, that while we have a lot of people who probably know what the George Pocock Foundation is, um, especially after the Boys in the Boat movie, right? So a lot of people who are not on the rowing community heard about it. If you could just as well like introduce not only the project we're here to talk about, which is the Camp Lucy, but talk a little bit more. So we have a lot of users that are perhaps cross country skiers, hybrid, functional, or so it's not they're not on the water classic rowing. So I would love for them to know about the foundation and how they can participate and help you get the money and the support you need to keep doing great to the community.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you, Patti, and thank you also, Tyus, for both being here this morning and Tyus for hosting us. Um, my name is Nell Aiello. I am the Director of Communications and Grants for the George Pocock Rowing Foundation. I realize this is my first time doing an Instagram Live. I've done Facebook Lives before, so thank you for Tyus for your hosting capabilities and inviting us, and for people watching, just be kind. Um, so the George Pocock Rowing Foundation is a nonprofit organization. We are based in Seattle, Washington. We introduce young people to the sport of rowing, and through our mission, we increase access. So they have more opportunities once they have started to row to continue rowing and feel part of a rowing community. And we have the majority of our programs in the Pacific Northwest, so Washington, Oregon, primarily. And then we have a program that runs throughout the nation in physical education classes, so on the rowing machine. So I'm excited to hear more about some of ErgZone's audience who might be on a rowing machine, or they might be on a ski erg, or they might be on something else, because we definitely have an opportunity for people to try the sport, not just on the water. So that's kind of the nutshell. I can go into more details, but that's the beginning, and I would love for Patti to introduce herself too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, it's good to be here. Yeah, I'm Patti. I'm the really brand new Camp Lucy manager. I've just started this month, and I'm really excited to be here. My background is, with rowing teams in the Bay Area. So Seattle's all new to me, but it's been great. I'm so excited to work with Camp Lucy, which really targets. It's for middle school girls, but gender inclusive, so trans kids and non-binary kids as well. And we're specifically trying to target groups who haven't historically had access to rowing, so people of color and those with real economic disadvantages that would, get in the way of them having waterfront access without programs like Camp Lucy.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I knew about it, but it's always good to hear
Yeah.
it. I'm from Brazil, and like rowing there is not that big. Like here is very hard for some people to get to it, right? And that is very small. And I'm in São Paulo, big city, so I love when I hear projects like that. Like it really, and that's a way for people to kind of experiment new things. I love that. So. We talked a little bit about what the foundation is and the Camp Lucy. So we know who it benefits, and I think that's great. So how does that work? How someone would join the program, or how do you find those those kids? Should I say kids? Is that the right
Yeah,
thing to say? You know,
yeah.
like, okay, how you find those kids to participate?
So we, well, because I'm new, I don't totally know how like recruiting for the program worked in the
Okay.
past, but I know that at this point, we do a lot like, word of mouth, families who've done it before, who tell their friends about it and want to do it again. And we also put up flyers around town and at our partner boat houses. And we like advertise through social media. But the way that kids actually become part of the program, like we really want to make sure that this, is for the people that we want it to be for. And so when you register on our website for the camp, you get added to a wait list. And then we're able to look through our wait list and see like, okay, these are the folks who look like they really, really need this camp, and we make sure that they get a slot. And then if we have extra room, we'll add other kids who might be interested because it certainly benefits everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure like over time you get more and more maybe people, like not even coming back, but someone tells a friend and
Mhm.
that's how things get popular, right? And then how do you have a number like how many kids usually they get on the program each year? It's okay if you don't. I don't want to throw you curveballs. So
Oh,
people
it's
know I don't the live chats we don't really rehearsal. I
yeah,
send them some ideas of we're gonna talk, and it needs to be like this, like free. We're talking and chatting, and so people kind of can connect with us. So
yeah, it's been different year to year. Camp Lucy is a pretty new program for us. I think we're in our this will be our fifth year doing it, 2025. But we'd like to aim for between like 15 and 20 kids a session, and we're doing 3 to 4 sessions each summer.
okay. Oh wow. That's a lot of kids. Like
Yeah,
because it is a lot of work to get, like just put a boat on the water. Or you cannot even imagine like going through the process of how things work and to the point to get them there. So I have a question because when I was in Brazil last, there is um one club that were doing something with a community, and then one of their biggest struggles were a lot of the kids. They were able to get some funding to get them, all in a van and bring it to the club. But then there's the problem that most of them didn't swim. How much of that do you find? Do you know that? Do you know like
we actually have just circumvented the swimming problem entirely by making sure that all of our kids wear life jackets.
yes,
Like
yes.
everybody, yeah. So I don't know the answer to
Yeah,
how many are
but
able to
well,
swim.
I guess it's a
We
problem.
know it's a
Like that is a
problem.
fact because I think that's what they end up doing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, and I feel like that's easier probably with kids because kids are fearless somehow.
Mhm.
They're braver. I can like my mom, for instance, if you put a life jacket on her, she still say, "I'm not getting that boat." you it's like I'm not swimming, so I'm not go. Well, that's great. I love that it's open to even those that doesn't swim because we know that's a big part of the population, especially minorities, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if they don't have a lakefront access, they probably don't have a swimming pool most of the
Yeah.
time either. So yeah, wow, congratulations for doing that. So how I connected, so before we now I guess we talk about the event and one of the reasons why I wanted to bring when I told Nell about it is why now, like it could be any time of the year, um, which is the 26 point Lou. And that's how I connected mostly with Nell last year. I knew about it. And as ErgZone co-creator, I always think about, I feel like what the tool we built and how we can kind of bring it to someone who's doing something cool, especially when you talk about virtual, like our virtual module on ErgZone, how we came and said, okay, let's do something that's live. It came during pandemic to solve the problem of people being distanced. So we're gonna talk now about the 26 point Lou. And now, do you want to talk a little bit about the event? I know that you have a lot of passion and a lot of involvement in that. So, what can you tell us about what is the event?
Yes, I will. I'm just going to back up for a moment just because I know Patti is new, so I'm grateful she's here and on the spot about these questions. I just wanted to answer, since I've been at the foundation since 2020 and I've seen the evolution of Camp Lucy, which is so cup fulfilling and, has really deepened all of my adoration for this foundation's work. Last year we had 62 young women in the camp. So I just wanted to give that number since we were talking about our goals. So 62 young women participated in Camp Lucy last year. We like to call them the Lucies as a little nickname. So we'll just, from now on, we'll call them the Lucies. And we started this fundraiser in 2021, actually, to raise money to support Camp Lucy when it was, starting out as a pilot program. And the first year it was all virtual because we were still coming out of the pandemic. And I wish we had known each other, Tyus, at that time, and we could have done it all virtually. I remember doing it in my living room with my husband, and then everybody was erging, in their houses or in their boat houses if they were allowed to do that. So then 2022 was the first time we did it in person. So this will be our third year officially running the event in person. And the idea is it is a fundraiser in support of Camp Lucy, but it is really emphasizing the fun, because what we want is for people to know about the event and then know about Camp Lucy first and foremost. It is an awareness community building event. So it's really wonderful that we've got this opportunity to talk about it, and I could go on and on. So someone's going to have to cut me off.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
All right. So
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
just jump in for a minute. I accidentally double booked myself for a couple meetings this morning. But I don't want to interrupt Nell. I'll just say if I have to jump off, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, that's
No,
okay.
you're totally fine.
Okay.
We understand. And thank you. If you have to
yes,
hop off, just thank you for joining us for
okay.
however long you can.
Yes, thank you, Patti. So 26 Point Lou came about, it sounds sort of funny when you see it to look at it at 26 Point Lou, but we try to sort of understand it. 26 Point Lou originally was a marathon of meters. So we originally had said everybody's going to row 42,195 meters on the rowing machine as a team. You can have as many people as you want. Kind of in the idea of 26.2 being a marathon of running, 26 Point Lou is a marathon of meters, because Camp Lucy was founded in honor of Lucy Pocock, who is George Pocock's older sister and was a trailblazer in rowing, particularly for women. She was incredible, and you can read more about her. We can send you, links. Tyus, you're welcome to share.
This is her behind me
There
here.
she is. Yes,
Yeah.
there she
Awesome.
is
Yes.
rowing.
Yeah, you
So
share
that's
with
sort of
me any detail
I
later so I
will.
can share the
Yeah.
link for everybody.
Great. So 26 Point Lou, it's better to say out loud than to read it, is this marathon of meters. And what we learned over the past few years is that it's actually much more fun if we just have a timed event instead of trying to get people to row a full marathon, which can be daunting and not so fun when everybody is finishing at different times. So we changed the format last year to be 2.5 hours, and teams can compete for as many meters as possible. If you row a marathon in that time, awesome. If you row half a marathon, awesome. So the reason that it takes place in February every year is because we try to do it in and around the International Women and Girls in Sports Day, which takes place usually the first week of February. And it's a celebration of women in sports, right? So ideally, we try to leverage that celebration and that time. So it's been before it and it's been after it. This year, it's after that particular date. It's on February 9th, which is a Sunday. This is the first time we're doing it on a Sunday. It also happens to be on Super Bowl Sunday, but good news, it'll all be finished. You'll have rowed as many meters as you can before the Super Bowl starts, which is perfect because then you can eat all you want to eat while watching the Super Bowl and feel really good about it. So all of the fundraising goes to support Camp Lucy this year. As Patti mentioned, we're hoping to run 3 to 4 sessions with about 15 to 20 young women per session. So ideally, our goal is to raise $30,000 at the event. I think that the more people who fundraise, the more likely we're getting to that goal. But we don't make, you don't have to fundraise. We don't require it. It's not something that we're going to say, well, you can't participate if you don't fundraise. It's just something that if it is of interest, to set a goal for your team, then that is a benefit to the young women who come to camp, the Lucy's. So let's talk about how the format works, because I know there's a lot of people who follow ErgZone who might not be in Seattle. So there is an in-person event in Seattle where teams come together on the day, and at a venue they row for the 2.5 hours. And at the same time that that is taking place, we have virtual participants across the nation. I'm starting to call them satellite venues, because we're getting people who are actually coming together, like at a gym or a boathouse, or at people's homes. So we're having satellite locations virtually participating as well, which is exciting, because again, the goal really is to bring more awareness to Camp Lucy. So any way you can participate, we love to see it. It's a little bit easier if you're on the erg, but if you're biking or you're ski erging, I'm totally, open to that too. It's really about the just involvement in the event and the physicality of doing something for 2.5 hours for the most meters. You can have a team of one. Don't recommend it, but but you can, and if you want, you can have a team of 10. So last year we had, all the Lucy's were on a team, which was so fun in person to watch them row. We had teams that had, 2 people. I think there was one person. There was one person who did it solo last year. I would say the average is 4 people, which is a good amount to sort of get a good sweat on, and then also not feel like you're just rowing for 2.5 hours. And last year we also had a team of 3 who rowed a full marathon in that time, which was incredibly impressive and not the norm. So just want to point out, that's not when most of the teams are not getting a full marathon in 2.5 hours. That's very aggressive to do that. What else can I tell you? Last year as a group, we almost rowed 1 million meters. So this year we're really aiming to get as many people as we can, and 1 million meters is, the meters goal to surpass. That would be pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sort of in a nutshell. So we partnered with Tyus and ErgZone last year, which was a phenomenal new partnership that I love, and I'm so excited because it worked really well. We were able to hook up all of the in-person tablets to each other and have a screen that showed everybody's efforts and the leaderboard, and then all of the virtual participants felt so included, that it was wonderful, because they could see themselves and everybody else on their ErgZone app. So whether they were in person or if they were, elsewhere in the world, they could see what was going on, which was really cool.
Yeah, that makes me happy, and that's why when I reached out to you last year, I always feel like, okay, we have a solution that can kind of bring people together. Our tagline turned to be out of nowhere. We were not sitting talking about what's our tagline, but let's connect. The whole idea before was connect the phone to the erg, but then we figure, well, we're more than that. We want to collect people through technology, use it for a good thing, not just for me to tell my kids all the time, no tablet today, stuff like
Yes.
things,
Yes.
things like
Battling
that. I
that.
know. Yeah, so I love that you said like that, why it happens in February. I had no idea about the women's sport like being around that time, like never, came to my attention. I think that's great. I love empowering everybody, but as a woman, I do understand how hard it is for sports and and have access to all the things. So I love that. And I like the satellite locations. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk to our audience is, hey, if you have the time, a lot of people work out in gyms, CrossFit gyms. Now people uh, training for high rocks, they have access to those machines. So now we connected beyond conceptual machines too, which is also another reason why I wanted people to know, because I love how inclusive and flexible this is. Once you took out the marathon out of it,
Yep.
it's literally you have 2 hours and a half. You can row for half an hour and just sit down there and it's fine. So, and the idea of using other ergs, it does open up for more. And
Hmm.
what cool things that I'm not sure if you know now is that if people join on different ergs, you kind of will be able to see on the leaderboard as well. I know we're not looking at the leaderboard, oh wow, but it's always good to know the data, so you kind
Yes.
of know. So for instance, we connect to the assault runner. So if someone is running one of those machines, they can
Yeah.
do it.
I love it.
I
I
love
think one
that.
of the things I also realized that I really appreciated is that I've had a lot of teams signing up this year. And also, just side note, it is free to register, there's no registration cost. But I've had a lot of teams this year say, well, how far did I row last year? And I just pull it up on my ErgZone app and I have the leaderboard and I can be like, this is how far you got last year. So, and it's so cool,
I love
like
that. I love
it's,
that you said that because those things are always on my mind, and it's so hard for me to sometimes explain to people how the data important,
mm-hmm.
because the data is a lot of people see. I don't need to gather that information because I'm never on the top. That's me. I'm never. That is
Yep.
ladies 10 years older than me. They destroy me on the erg. So I don't count to where I position myself among those people. It's among myself. If I sit down today and I roll 1 more meter, 1 millisecond faster, or whatever that looks like, we're winning.
Yeah.
And it's good for them to kind of have an idea. Like, we need to surpass at least 1 meter.
Yeah, that's right. And I
Awesome.
think it's really good for them to be in their mind thinking, okay, what can I do now that I know what I've done, and what can I move forward, progress, do a little better this year now that I know what to expect. So
Right.
it's really cool. And it's helping me also to gauge for other people, like what, they're saying, well, how far should I try to row? And I say, okay, well, this was a team of 4 women, for example. You can try to match that or row further than that or something to that effect.
Oh,
So
I love that. I love that. Maybe later we can talk about how we can have even those things are really oh my gosh, my husband, who is my partner and the head of development, will not be happy that I'm saying those things. I have all those ideas and say, hey, we should do this live.
yeah.
So but imagine, like, if you have this information,
Yeah.
how many people, which brings me to something that you did ask me, how people would participate. Because okay, so in Seattle, people are doing what we call a relay, right? They're
Yep.
sharing
That's right.
one erg. So doesn't matter how many people are there, they are all using the same erg. Now, some people may be virtually doing a team, but they're not in the same location. So they're not sharing the erg. And I explained to you that here, what's going to happen is they join the ErgZone group where the event's going to be held. They will connect and they row. I would say, unfortunately, just because I don't have the time to change that right now, but they
Yep.
will see individually as they row. So they probably going to be behind a lot of people just because you're much
It's by
faster,
themselves.
when
Yeah. Yeah.
you're not rowing the whole
Yeah.
time.
Right.
But after the fact, we can just like go and accumulate. So the leaderboard, you will know what that team did after. But for next year, I already have ideas. So ErgZone has this idea of team for virtual competition. So how it works is, imagine the three of us are a team. We row independently, but as soon as we're done, ErgZone automatically calculate the pace.
Yep.
But that doesn't happen live. It's I can row, on the competitions where you have like a whole week time frame to finish a workout. So that's why.
Gotcha.
But now, with one reason I wanted you here is to bring more people, and a lot of our users already do that spread around the world. So I want for next year to have that,
I love it.
for us to be able to see uh, something like those people are rowing, but they're representing their individuals rowing at the same time, but they're representing team
Yeah.
A or team B, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we will talk about that and see how we can keep improving. I like those kind of opportunities to bring more value to your event, but also to, I know other people will benefit from that, other fundraisers, or perhaps even paying groups on ErgZone, rowing clubs, universities, and things like that.
Definitely.
Um,
And all it takes is doing an event like this to realize there is an opportunity, right, to make
Yes.
something more community driven and team oriented. Because I don't know that we had that question last year with somebody that just came up this year that said they're rowing on a different team. They're rowing on the same team, but in different
Different place.
places.
And that's
Right.
great. You know, it
Yeah.
means just you're growing. You
Right.
know, like before people didn't know. So it's probably a boathouse in Seattle
Yeah.
because know about you, or a boathouse somewhere else. But as you grow, those are the growing pains, right?
Right.
That's how we call it. And even last year, I know it was the first year you use ErgZone in your the people like helping you. We figured that, oh, there was some problem, so I was like, hey, you should do this next time.
Yes.
Which brings me to I haven't had 100%, but I'm just trying to move things around on my calendar. I may be in Seattle for the
Oh,
event.
we would be so
So
happy.
cool.
We
I
would be so happy.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I really want to go. I had like, kids and family and stuff. So I'm trying to figure this out because I want to be in place not only to meet the Lucys and meet everybody else, but also it's much easier if I am in place and I learn the pains,
Yes.
because I want, again, to bring the same kind of technology to everybody anywhere. And while I love, I can't be anywhere, everywhere,
Yeah.
every event. So I think that would be a good one for me to observe. So I'm 95%
Oh,
chances like I'll be
we
there.
would be so
Well,
happy. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I do, and I know that there's probably um, some teams out here who would benefit from chatting with you. I think that Seattle is such a really important place for rowing teams in general. Um, so I think it's a great idea for you to come.
Yeah.
Just trying to persuade you, but I
No,
think there's opportunities
no,
here for
you don't
sure.
have convincing me. Like I've almost booked everything. I'm confirming some things, and then I make sure. I was even making sure my kids are not finishing their sports season when I'm gone. Like
Yeah,
a lot of
for
times,
sure.
a lot of things happens at this time of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will confirm. And so just to make sure people understand, what we're trying to do here is raise money for the camp, for your project, and also awareness. So, and we want them, of course, sitting on the erg and getting the meters because we have that goal. But if they can collaborate, we appreciate, and that's not ErgZone, is the foundation, appreciate every single cent. So that is, I know, you have Classy, right? Classy.org. Is that the,
That's
so
it.
you have a
Yep.
page on that. I will share that. So even if people cannot be live and do the event this year because it's kind of 2 weeks away, they still could like send you some love through
yeah,
some
Absolutely.
donation.
We will
Um,
always take love through donations. We also
absolutely.
have sponsorship opportunities. If you wanted to get your name out there, if you have a company or an organization, we do sponsorships. But yes, we are always more than happy to take support, whether you're participating by erging or not. So that would be great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hope is by having this chat and leaving it, I'm gonna post on our YouTube channel and all the other channels. So over time, people can come across these videos to kind of learn. So next year we keep growing and growing. We will see like how we can involve more and more people from the ErgZone database. Like from
Yeah,
on the event.
Um,
perfect.
yeah, it's amazing. I'll just say for those, watching who don't know or might see this later, like Camp Lucy, other than just the target population that we're going for, like it's not just a rowing camp, right? It's not just a summer rowing camp. We spend about half the time, learning how to row with the kids, but we spend the other half of the time like doing these really incredible workshops with them and building life skills. So we're talking about healthy movement, we're talking about communication and teamwork and like the impact that you have on others through your actions, and how to navigate situations like that and really like dig into some of the life skills that come with rowing but aren't always focused on. So it's I think a really really huge deal for kids this age to get that opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love it. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's important. And I will say that I think most of us don't trust a lot of what if I donate. where this
Yeah,
go
where's
to.
it go?
And
Mhm.
that's why I wanted to put faces to it, there
Yes.
is like two beautiful faces there, like behind that thing. And so we can show the love and people kind of feel like compelled to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes sense. I know that there's always a little bit of apprehension when you're sending money to
Mhm.
places. So
Yeah.
for those who don't know, the foundation, we have been in existence for over 40 years. And as Tyus mentioned early on, George Pocock is known primarily for being a boat builder and being part of the story of Boys in the Boat. But all of the donations and support at 26 Point Lou go directly to Camp Lucy and the Lucy's this summer. So it's all going straight to making sure that these young women get a chance to row and to learn life skills and to get their confidence built up and gain friendships and do all of the fun things that we do in summer camps. So,
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, so I will share the link for the fundraiser. And I think also we will share the link later to how they can join the event through ErgZone so we can have
great.
more people
Great.
coming in. So I'm pretty sure like they don't really know right now if they go on the app or on the website, they don't really know where to go. So I will make sure we have those informations on our Instagram, whatever else social media. I don't even know anymore. There's so many things that I post. I'm like, did I post everywhere? I
Yeah.
needed to. Like, I'm not following this. I need my daughter to grow a little faster so she
Yes,
can deal with that.
that's right. That is right. I know. And the faster it happens, the older I feel. So there's just so much technology that's it's overwhelming now. So
I
yep,
know,
I'm
but it's
right there
great,
with you.
right? But it's
It's
great.
great.
So at least we're reaching out more people. So Patty, now do we have anything else you wanted to add at this point? We can always like post about it
Yeah.
later. I just wanted to give you the opportunity. I think we covered most of it.
Yeah, we did. And I think, the only thing I'll add is that even though we're a couple of weeks, just under 3 weeks away from the event, I've been sending out weekly emails with a training plan, and then Tyus has it on ErgZone so you actually can see what the training for the week is. So if it's something, if you're listening or you're watching and you're thinking, well, I don't really know how to prepare for a marathon, we have a training plan and we send it out weekly. And in the emails, it also has fundraising tips and training tips and racing tips. So it's a really helpful email preparing you for the event, which once you sign up to register, you will get the emails and you can see all of the previous emails too. So we're kind of down to the wire, and it's a little bit of, maybe you'll be doing some hard training 2 weeks prior to the event, but it's always worth having a little bit of guidance. So that's what those emails are for.
Yeah, well, I think most of the people who are with us, like most of the time, they're used to spending some time on the
Yeah.
earth. So maybe if they don't go for the full marathon, they can benefit. And a lot of a lot of times people just want ideas of different workouts, So
Yeah,
you're gonna be doing a
definitely.
workout by the George Pocock
Yeah,
Foundation, like nice.
love it. Yeah, that's great. And I think last year, just to give some reference, I only ended up rowing probably 35 minutes in total, split up over 2.5 hours. So it's really doable for anybody who's been, doing any kind of cardiovascular activity. A lot of people do sprint. I don't recommend that either, but there are some teams who just go really full out. But we just took it, marathon pace, conversational pace, and it was great.
Yeah,
So,
awesome. Yeah, anybody who may want to join, don't know, have any questions, send me a direct message, Instagram, Facebook, email, and I will help you figure it out. If some of our users want to do some part of it and want to have a team of some sort, or not, you don't even need a team, just roll 30 minutes, get some meters on the on the board, because after we're gonna have like ErgZone gonna sum it up automatically. We will know all the meters anyways, so it is gonna be another way to celebrate for the event, right?
Yeah.
So
yes,
let me know and we will help you. I want
thank
to
you.
see a lot of faces there.
That sounds great. We appreciate everybody participating.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me.
Fun.
Thank you for the curve to getting all the curveballs and all the things. It is great, and I hope to see you in, I think,
Hope to see you
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
That would be amazing. We
absolutely.
would love that.
Uh,
Yep. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Thank you.
Tyus.
You have a great week,
You
okay?
too.
Bye
Too.
bye.
Bye.